Hi guys, my name is Layla Kadu and I am the Fall 2020 Economics Peer Advisor. I am a junior and my hometown is Burlington, Massachusetts. So this week is Majors Week at UMass. So I decided to interview a bunch of different econ majors and talk about why they chose econ as their major and what they would give as advice to other students. So stay tuned. Hi, so continuing off with Majors Week, today I have Simran with me who's going to be talking about her major and how it relates to economics. So, Simran, if you could just repeat your name, your hometown, and your grade, please.
Sure. So my name is Simran Johar. I live in Wilmington, Massachusetts, and I am a sophomore at UMass this year.
Okay, awesome. So, one thing about Simran is she actually isn't an econ major, but she does major in something kind of similar. It has a lot of like overlapping themes. It's called STEPC. If you could please explain a little bit about what the STEPC major does and just kind of like over, stuff about that.
Yeah, so STEPC basically stands for Social Thought and Political Economy, and it's basically an interdisciplinary major where your required classes come from all different departments like econ, sociology, political science, gender studies, philosophy, history, like anything like that. And basically you study a lot about like radical social theory and like social movements throughout history, and you like have to engage with it critically, like in a way that you might not do in like a traditional history class or a traditional political science class. You take what you learn about social change and basically apply it to the real world today, and you are required to do an internship that kind of applies that kind of stuff to the real world. I know that a lot of people who graduated from the major do go into law or public policy. I'm considering either going into social work or getting a master's in labor studies, either one. There's a lot of studying that has to do with like the state, like labor, oppression, stuff like that. So it's just a wide variety of stuff you can study. And if you're interested in social change or radical social change, it's a great major. And it overlaps with econ because a lot of the required courses that you have to take also come like from, could also come from the econ department. You don't necessarily have to take courses in the econ department, but you can to fulfill that. And the great thing is that because it overlaps, you can take like one econ course and have it apply to both a STEPIC requirement and an econ requirement. So you get two things done at the same time, basically. So yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so you kind of talked about this a little bit, but obviously as a STEPIC major, you get to take a bunch of different classes in different fields. And obviously that means that you've taken some econ classes. Are there any specific classes or professors that really like stood out to you or like you really enjoyed during your time here so far?
Yeah, so in terms of the econ department, since I've only been at UMass for one full year so far, I haven't had the opportunity to take many econ classes aside from like the intro ones. But last semester I did take an econ class about cooperatives with Valerie Voorhees, and that was a really interesting class because getting to study like cooperatives, which are like a business structure that you don't often get to study in traditional econ classes. And I think it paired well with stuff I learned in STEPIC because it's just alternative ways of looking at the world and how we look at labor and stuff. So that's what I enjoyed about that.
Awesome. I also took that class and I feel the same exact way. It was a really cool class. Okay, just a little bit about you. What is something you do outside of being a STEPIC major that's interesting? Anything fun?
Yep. So outside of academics, I really like theater, music, like any type of performing arts. I was involved in a show with the theater department last year, and I guess in the case of COVID, it's a little bit different, but usually I would try to be in at least one production of a show with a theater department or with theater, like the UMass Theater Guild. I would, try to get involved in that because I really enjoy it and it's something I've done since middle school and it makes me really happy. So, yeah.
Nice. Oh my God, amazing. Okay, last question. Do you have any advice for people thinking about either switching into the STEPIC major or like just taking econ classes outside of like your traditional route?
Yeah, so as for econ classes, if you're not an econ major, I think it's good to take one if you're looking for like, a gen ed. You can take an intro econ class. I think the concepts are pretty easy to understand. I mean, I took an econ class in high school and it was pretty straightforward. There's also like lots of different like upper level econ classes. There's such a wide variety of topics you can study in econ, so you're not really limited to like studying like just one type of econ. Like for example, like I know there's a class about like Marxist econ and stuff like that, and there's lots of like interesting like niche things that you can study in like the econ department from what I've seen in the course offerings. And yeah, and if you're looking to be an econ major, if you're like unsure about what you want to major in, I would say go for it, because it's you study like a wide variety of things, and the concepts are kind of easy. Well, I guess like compared to like other things, I find that the concepts are like a little bit easier to understand, and so you can overlap it with a lot of different majors too. Like for example, STEPC. I know that because of like recent events happening in the world, I know a lot of people are inspired to create like radical social change and stuff, and I think that the STEPC major might be like a great like first step into getting into that area if you don't really know like about capitalism and like oppression and stuff like that. I think it's a great major for learning about that stuff if you like are like unfamiliar with like social change and like radical social theory and stuff like that. And yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Well, thank you so much for letting me interview you. I really appreciate it.